Hello everyone, my name is Chris and welcome back to another game review. Today I'm gonna be reviewing Half-Life 2, and as usual I'm quickly gonna go through the story of this game to tell you in short what the game is all about. Then I'm gonna share my own opinions and thoughts about this game, so in case you didn't play it, one big spoiler alert across the screen. And yeah, just click away from this video and come back after you play a game if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to, it's totally fine. But if you really are interested in my opinions and thoughts about this game right now, then stay with me till the end of this video and let's get started. Alright guys, Half-Life 2, it's a first-person shooter that was released back in 2004. It's been developed by Valve Corporation and it's been developed in Source Engine. This is equal to Half-Life 1, in my case it's equal to Black Mesa. Because I originally didn't play Half-Life 1, I did play original expansions for Half-Life 1, but instead of playing original Half-Life 1, I played Black Mesa, which is a remake that was released earlier this year for Half-Life 1, that I also played and reviewed on my channel, so you can go and check it out if you want. Half-Life 2 is probably one of the most famous first-person shooters ever made, and probably one of the most respected first-person shooters ever made. Reason for that is that just like Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2 in 2004 was really revolutionary back then, and it had some crazy details and it was ahead of its time compared to other first-person shooters back then. And even today there is a lot of games that could learn from Half-Life 2. The story of Half-Life 2 again follows our main hero from the first game and character we play with, Gordon Freeman. Only this time he finds himself in this city called City 17 that is being occupied by this militia that is being led by this main villain called Dr. Green. And once Gordon is in the City 17, he gets recognized by this militia and Dr. Green, and they try to kill him. Then he escapes the City 17 and soon becomes the symbol of resistance, and he arises the resistance and gathers the resistance fighters that will lead the fight against this militia. He also meets some really cool characters that help him down the road in his journey, and he meets a lot of friends and enemies, and he's on the mission to destroy Dr. Breen and his evil plan and this militia. And that's pretty much what the entire story of Half-Life 2 is all about, so don't expect some super intriguing or interesting story. This is an old school shooter that was made back in 2004, and things back then were more about gameplay, and I think that's pretty much what Half-Life always was all about. Even though the story is not bad, it's pretty interesting. I enjoyed it for what it was, and it was really enjoyable story for this set, for the environmental set this game was set in. And it's not boring. There is always something going on. There is always some characters showing up. There is always some interesting things happening that you couldn't predict happening, and the story sometimes turns some unexpected ways, and some unexpected things happen, especially in episode 1 and 2, which are two more expansions for Half-Life 2, and the story expands through these two expansions. So I think they did a really good job with Half-Life 2 story. Again, it's nothing really too special, but it's quite enjoyable, and honestly it's even better than stories of some modern first-person shooters I've seen, definitely. So altogether, quite enjoyable story for this game back in its time, and I can totally understand why people enjoy this game so much and its story. So story is pretty good and totally worth listening to and playing. Alright, let's talk about gameplay, which is my favorite part of Half-Life 2, just like in the Half-Life 1 as well. This game is all about gameplay mostly, and the main difference between Half-Life 2 and original Half-Life 1 is that they changed the engine in Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 is using Source Engine, which allows you to do so much more things. the most interesting thing about Half-Life 2 engine is, I think, ragdoll and the ability to grab any object in the environment you want. So you can grab all the objects just like you could in Black Mesa, because the remake of Half-Life 1 Black Mesa is also using the Source engine. You can do the same thing with Half-Life 2. You can also grab all the objects in the environment, and there is really realistic ragdoll. Again, this engine has such a realistic ragdoll. Honestly, this is the most realistic ragdoll I've seen in a video games. Even some modern first-person shooters don't have such a great ragdoll, and environment destruction sometimes feels so much better than in some modern video games. And the design that Source engine allowed developers to make this game, the way they designed levels with this engine is just absolutely fantastic. And I still think whoever made this engine is a pure genius. Just like in Half-Life 2, you pick up ammo from the ground, you have a lot of weapons to choose from to fight, you have different type of enemies. Half-Life 2 even brings some new enemies in the game. For example, those heavy zombies that have a lot of those venomous head crabs. So Half-Life 2 now has 2 new head crab species. In Black Mesa, I've seen only those that make humans into zombies. But now in Half-Life 2, we have those little fast crabs that make humans into even deadlier zombies that now jump around, scream, and attack you so much faster. That's why they are called fast crabs. Then you have these venomous crabs that if they bite you, they will leave you with only 1 HP. They can kill you, but they will leave you with 1 HP. But if there is 2 of them, and one, for example, bites you, and the other one, and that the first one that bites you leaves you with 1 HP, and the other one that bites you will fucking kill you instantly, or pretty much anything that hits you will kill you instantly. So these venomous head crabs are fucking deadly, and they are really scary. They make squeaky, scary noises. The only thing I could say I disliked about Half-Life 2 is that enemies feel much weaker. Definitely, those human enemies die so much faster. In Black Mesa, it was much more enjoyable having actually a challenge when you have to fight those human enemies. While in the Half-Life 2, they die much faster and they're easier to kill. But I guess they wanted to put, like I said, more focus on action, and then if enemies die faster, they can put more enemies, and that way they can make more action in the game. So I understand what they wanted to do, but I didn't really like the fact that there are enemies that easy to kill. This game also has some horror moments, and this horror atmosphere that we met in Black Mesa and Half-Life 1 as well. And I like how they kept that in Half-Life 2 as well. Also in Half-Life 2 you got a lot of areas to explore. This is again a linear first-person shooter. You go through the levels to complete the game. But as you go through these levels, there is plenty of stuff to explore. You can always break boxes to get ammo. What I like, what they did with Half-Life 2 is now they simplified the boxes. In Black Mesa and Half-Life 1, you had to like use your crowbar to break every single box and hope you'll find some ammo, health, or whatever is inside the box. And in Half-Life 2, the boxes that hold supplies like ammo, health, etc. Now are marked with a supply box on it. So whenever you see it says supply box on the box, that's the one that holds supplies, and the other boxes are just normal boxes that you can break and you will get nothing from them. Half-Life 2 also got a lot more creative with its gameplay. The main change to Half-Life 2, I think, is a gravity gun. Basically, gravity gun allows you to grab any object in the environment and you can launch it, you can like fire it, you can even use it as a weapon. So this gravity gun can be used as a weapon and as a tool in the same time. and there's so many creative things you can do with this gravity gun. I remember there was a scene when you are on the graveyard with another survivor in this part of a game called Ravenholm. It's basically a place where this militia launched their head crab rockets, and when these rockets fall, the head crabs get out of them and infect the people and make zombies out of them. And once you come to this Ravenholm graveyard, there is plenty of fucking zombies around, and I know there were those like souls that you could pick up and launch into zombies with this gravity gun and just cut them in half. So this gravity gun was a lot of fun to use. It's an interesting change to Half-Life 2 gameplay, and I love especially the ending of the game when you are climbing the tower to destroy Dr. Bree. You charge this gravity gun so you can even kill humans and like grab humans and launch them into other humans. So this gravity gun then becomes blue and even more powerful. You just feel unstoppable with that thing. Nothing stands in your way. It's absolutely the great. I enjoyed that part of the game so much. It was really awesome. Also, Half-Life 2, just like Half-Life 1, has AI that will follow you. Only this time there is no AI that you meet like in the game. I mean, there is somewhere at the end of the game you will obtain the ability to command your squad. So there is a part when you fight on the streets against militia, and these resistance fighter will join you when they see you, and you'll have on the bottom of your screen, on the bottom right of your screen, it will say like squad following, and then it will show the icons of how many people are following you. And those AIs can also die, but they will fight by your side. You can even command them where to go. Another interesting thing that I was really surprised to see is that medic, if you have a medic in the squad, and if he notices that you are low on health, he will come to you and he will heal you. So seeing that was really amazing. So they again decided to expand the gameplay and abilities and get creative a little bit more, and it feels much better than first Half-Life game and Black Mesa. Then you have this main characters that will also follow you through the game. For example, Alex is one of the most important characters in Half-Life 2, and she will follow you at some points through the game, and she's really badass. She will shoot these militia soldiers with you, and I love how AI is actually smart. She will not miss them, she will actually shoot them immediately. She knows how to take cover. Animations in this game are so good. I honestly think this game has way more advanced animations than some games today, honestly. Most of animations in today's modern first-person shooters feel a lot like scripted, while Half-Life 2 animations on the characters are unpredictable. There is so many different animations in the gameplay, in the cutscenes, that are all set in the game. This game again doesn't have any cutscenes or anything. Everything is set in the game, and these animations that characters do in the game are so random. You're gonna see so many different animations, and facial animations when characters are talking to you feel so realistic, and I just can't believe that this was done in 2004, man. This is just amazing. AI is so smart. Again, I remember the detail when you're fighting these fast grab zombies in the Ravenholm. They will attack you at one roof when you obtain the shotgun, and there is like a little room, and you can close the doors behind you when you get into that room, and that still won't stop these fast head crab zombies from getting to you. They will jump through the window that is above you. They will break the window, and they will still attack you. That's just crazy. The AI is so advanced for 2004. It's really smart. Also, when you start the game at the beginning, when you are walking around the city 17, if you approach the guard like too close, not only he will warn you to stay away from him first few times, First few times he will push you with his hand, and then if you keep annoying him, he will take out his like taser baton and he'll hit you with it. So that's another cool AI detail that I remember from this game. I love how there is a realistic camera broadcast in this game. Sometimes in the game you'll find a camera like screen that is being broadcast, and you can watch what the camera is seeing, and you can actually see it in the real time as it happens right now, and it's pretty cool. It's amazing to see that all these things were done back in 2004. Also, this game got creative with the traps. There are some traps when you are in this Ravenholm part. You don't have a lot of ammo, and you have to improvise with your gravity gun as a weapon, and you can use these traps to kill these zombies and monsters that are attacking you. So that's pretty cool. Also, there are turrets in Half-Life 2. Yes, they brought turrets into Half-Life 2 that you can move around, set to wherever you want, and then they will shoot humans when they see them. It's also one creative addition to the game. There is one part when you have to protect yourself and hold position with those turrets. That was pretty cool. That was something new and that wasn't in the first game. The main thing I liked about Half-Life 2 was the mini open world moments. So there is few parts in Half-Life 2 when you even obtain a vehicle that you drive around. Again, it's the linear world, but it's like larger open linear world. And as you drive this vehicle from point A to point B where you need to go, you will meet a lot of like abandoned houses, shacks or whatever, and you can stop by, check what's inside, find some supplies, ammo and stuff. Then you can hop back into the vehicle and keep driving to where you need to go. And while you explore these locations that you meet down the way as you drive your vehicle, you never know what you will find at these locations. Sometimes you'll find enemies, sometimes you'll find human enemies, sometimes you'll find zombie enemies and stuff. So there is definitely a lot more action. They definitely wanted to give more attention to action in Half-Life 2, and that can be felt so much more. In Half-Life 1 was more focused on it was a little bit more horror-ish atmosphere, and it wasn't that much of a shooting. I mean, there was, but compared to Half-Life 2, it wasn't. Half-Life 2 has way more action, way more blood-pumping moments, way more shooting, way more enemies, and way more different type of enemies. So they really wanted to put attention on the action in Half-Life 2, which I absolutely loved, and I think was a great choice and a nice step forward in the Half-Life franchise. So the gameplay in this game was really enjoyable back in its time, and it still is, and I can totally understand why people appreciate Half-Life 2 so much for what it is. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that this game has some amazing fucking soundtracks that are so enjoyable to listen to. It's just amazing. Honestly, this game gave me more fun than some other modern first-person shooters. It's sad to say that, but there is so much that modern first-person shooters can learn from Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 1. I mean, it's really amazing, the details in this game, some of the like physical details and things characters do and say and how they behave depending on the environment they find themselves in and the situations they find themselves in. And the things they're surrounded by and how they react to all of these things and talk to is just on the next level. And I don't know, I don't see that much of advanced AI in modern first-person shooter. That's why I appreciate this game so much, and that's why I love to mention this. It feels like it's something out of this world. Even though this game is so old, it still feels in some ways way more advanced than some modern first-person shooters. I just loved this game, and I don't know, if you want to play something and I don't know, if you just want to play something old school and if you want to try out some old school first-person shooter, I totally recommend it to check out both Half-Life 1 and 2 and expansions for both games, and even Black Mesa remastered to Half-Life 1. There are of course also heal and armor stations in Half-Life 2, just like in the first game. You come to them and you hold E and you can heal and obtain armor as long as you have the power in the little heal station. Once you drain it, it's over. What I love about Half-Life 2 is that there is definitely more screen tips. So game now tells you more how to use controls and introduces you more to game and to game's controls. So they fixed that a little bit, because in the first Half-Life game it was a little annoying when sometimes you didn't know what to do or how to do it. Half-Life 2 also has some pretty cool puzzles that I enjoyed absolutely. So that's still a thing in Half-Life 2, and the way enemies are introduced to you without any like cutscene or whatever, the enemy will just pop up and you have to figure out everything your way. Half-Life 2 still doesn't have any map or compass or anything. You still have to figure out everything on your own, where to go, what to do, how to do it. But there is definitely more screen tips that tell you how to use controls and what you can interact with in the game. So they decided to help players a little bit more, which is something I definitely like, because that was sometimes annoying in the first Half-Life game. But besides that, everything is pretty much same as the Half-Life 1 game. Like, if we are talking about orientation, of course, you still have to figure out everything on your own, and that's what makes this game also so great, is that exploring element where no one will tell you what you need to do or how to do it or where to go. You really just have to look around, explore environment, and just figure your way to go. And that's pretty cool, and I enjoyed this game so much, and I would recommend it to everyone to play it. Whoever loves first-person shooters, go and play Half-Life 2. It's definitely worth playing, no matter how old this game gets. I think it's gonna be fucking awesome. I just enjoyed this game so much. It gave me so much fun, and I love it. I definitely love it. Definitely a game worth playing. Alright, now for the end, as usual, I always leave performance and visual design and graphical design and all that kind of stuff. So this game was released back in 2004, and it's stupid to say for this game, oh, it looks bad, it looks like trash. I mean, yeah, this game was released back in 2004. You can't expect this game to look like today's modern first-person shooters or any modern game today. But if you're gonna ask me, in my personal opinion, this game doesn't even look that bad at all. This game, visually, graphically, looks still pretty good and totally playable and totally enjoyable to play. You can see everything. It's not the level of detail like it is in modern games, but again, this is a game from 2004, and that was fucking long time ago. So yeah, in my opinion, this game still looks nice. I love the textures, I love the colors in this game. It was okay. I know there is not a lot of details, but again, 2004, that's how things were back then. So I ran this game on all ultra settings, 60 FPS or even more, like constantly, no lag, no glitches or whatever. This game is 10 out of 10 optimized. I mean, I haven't encountered a single like bug or glitch or anything. Like, literally, this game just really works nice. My PC specs are next. My GPU is AMD RX 560 4GB DDR5. Then my GPU is AMD FX 8320 octa-core Black Edition 3.50 GHz, and then my RAM memory is Kingston Fury Black Edition 16 GB DDR4. And yeah, those are basically my PC specs. So it was absolutely no problem for me to run this game on all ultra settings, 60 FPS or even more. Pretty much any computer can run this game today. It's really not a problem. You can run this game on all ultra settings on pretty much any PC. It's a really easy game to run. It really runs smoothly, and it's game totally worth playing. Like I said, I would play this game again anytime, and I think if you are like a huge fan of classic first-person shooters, you should definitely get your hands on this. And again, I'm ashamed I haven't played this game before. Now I'm really proud that I played this game. Now I can finally understand why gamers appreciate it so much. This game even has, like I mentioned before, 2 expansions. Both of these expansions are like 2 or 3 hours long, and it's fun to play them. They offer a lot more new content. They even bring some new enemies into game. Gameplay is good. Story is also not bad. Just simply one really fun classic first-person shooter. And yeah, I think I said everything I wanted about this game. And if you enjoyed this review, then go ahead and leave a like, share, comment, or subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's totally okay. You can also join my Chris Facebook group. Link is down below in the description, together with my as.fm, where you can leave any questions if you have any questions. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you for everything you've done for me and my channel so far. I love you. You're amazing. I'll definitely see you in the next videos. And Chris out.